Why are gamers upset with Assassin's Creed Shadows? Because it costs $130 to pre-order and there's no gameplay footage. That's why. It's all a ruse, chat. Poopysoft is distracting you. 3, 2, 1, boom!
Everybody, this is the Samurai Man here.
Damn.
Today, Ubisoft recently announced their newest Assassin's Creed game. Shadows the Hedgehog's personality.
Edgy.
Can you believe it? This series is finally going to Japan, a setting fans have been asking to go to for years. And the reaction has been entirely pleasant, unanimous praise. In fact, there is so little controversy to talk about that this is the end of the video. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe to the Samurai Man for more awesome content.
The most disliked trailer in the series history.
This hate that he's getting does not make any sense.
Yeah, Ubisoft is definitely rattling the cage with this one.
Oh yeah.
It's not just Assassin's Creed Shadows though. If you look at Ubisoft's channel, every video they're posting is getting mass disliked. Twitter has been going off and the wiki—
It's almost like Poopysoft is just a horrible company and it doesn't matter what they do, to be honest. They just have to, like, stop shitting up their studio and shitting up their games.
Wikipedia page for the protagonist Yasuke is a fucking war zone right now. There's a lot of heated debate around—
I bet you there's been so many changes in the Wikipedia page.
Assassin's Creed Shadows right now, which is weird because the trailer itself looks pretty damn good visually. So something else must be going on.
Oh, towards the end when they do the random, like, music switch, I did not like that. I watched it. There was, like, a random pop song or something when they're fighting on the roof, and I'm like, what the hell? What?
Something else is happening, and today we're going to take a more nuanced approach to honestly answer the question, why are gamers upset with Assassin's Creed Shadows? Is everyone complaining about this game just gearing up for the next clan meeting?
Yeah,
probably not.
all of them are racist.
See, there's a lot more to it than just a black samurai.
The fact that he has to put, like, a big alarm clock sound and then say this is a joke shows what world we're living in now, man. Like, he can't even crack a joke, man. It's so bad.
Alright, you know, people are right to be skeptical of anything Ubisoft puts out these days. And
just an idea, okay? Hear me out. Bring back Rayman, you fucking cowards.
No.
That's reason number one. Ubisoft's reputation is kind of in the gutter. X-Defiant, their supposed COD killer, is also seeing a high percentage of dislikes on their recent trailer. Star Wars Outlaws, same deal. Skull and Bones, the first quadruple A game. And your ship has a stamina bar.
The quadruple A game that looks worse than the Assassin's Creed game with ships in it that came out like 8 years ago. Isn't that lovely? Gajira, thank you for the 8! Thank you. Ship gets tired. Yeah, you're right. The ship has feelings. That's why it has a stamina bar. You're right.
So the dislikes on the Shadows trailer is not like an isolated incident. People aren't just upset with what they saw in the trailer. They're upset with everything Ubisoft has been doing recently.
Mm-hmm. Chat, $130. Or you can pay $18 a month for Poopysoft access. Wow, isn't that cool?
Like taking down online servers for this old racing game called The Crew. Instead of allowing fans to host their own fan servers and keep playing the game, Ubisoft is instead removing it from people's digital libraries and rendering physical copies unplayable. Yet
you will own nothing and be happy. This is how you turn people into pirates. Yep. Mm-hmm. Alana HC4 was 11 years ago, no 8. Dude, I don't give a fuck. It's almost a decade old. Who gives a shit? It's still a shit the game is still shit, and the game that came out 10 years ago is still good. That's what I'm trying to get at. It doesn't matter.
Yes, they certainly do want us to be comfortable with not owning our games. Oh, and by the way, you need an internet connection to play Shadows. Oh shit, wait, tell them they only need an internet connection to install the game. Crisis averted. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The second reason gamers are upset is Ubisoft's pricing model.
Pre-order Assassin's Creed Shadows coming November 15th. Excuse me, have you pre-ordered yet? Pre-order now. Watch
There's no gameplay footage for this game at all, by the way. Just so we're clear. All we saw was a cinematic trailer.
this trailer. Don't forget to pre-order. Play 3
Pre-order
days early
right
by
now!
pre-ordering any premium edition.
What the fuck is Amazon Luna? Max with silicon? What the fuck?
Pre-order now to get a bonus quest. Discover the gold and ultimate editions. Discover them. Pre-order. Learn more about how.
I love this. So much marketing. This is how I know that the game is 99% of the time is going to be shit, because they didn't show a single damn thing in terms of gameplay, and they want you to pre-order this much. I can't, man. Why don't you just show me a good game and then I'll pre-order? Maybe. That's a big maybe, by the way. Don't pre-order.
How you can fucking pre-order it 100 times.
Statue's kind of sick, though. Yeah, so for the same reasons people were upset with Outlaws, this pricing model is just not cool. It's not very Bushido of you, Ubisoft. Now, apparently, Shadows is like the #1 pre-order game in Japan right now. I don't
Really? Huh.
know how true this is, but if so, this is why we can't have nice things. Remember,
No pre-orders.
there's literally no point to it anymore. And also, like, a season's pass for a single player game. Are we
A season pass for a single player game? That you already pay money for? What the fuck, man? What? Oh, hell no. Now you know the game's gonna be trash on release. You just know it.
we in 2016 right now? What's happening? We're really going back to this? I can't think of any other game that still does a season pass. I just feel like there's something
No,
inherent.
but like a season pass for a single player game. Like, what? And you pay for it. You pay $70 for it.
Ubisoft needs money, it's a small company.
Yeah, small multi-billion-dollar company.
Really scummy with opening up purchases for a game without showing any actual gameplay. So yeah, both Outlaws and Shadows are monetized in the exact same way, and nobody really likes it. Next reason, people are kind of bored of Ubisoft's game design. The huge open world filled with the same copy and pasted missions and side quests with
Oh, wait. There was an Assassin's Creed that was in the Greek setting that also had a season pass, and I remember people talking about it and shit-talking it as well. Guys, you guys forget that time heals all wounds, even video game ones. Yeah, Odyssey, whatever it's called. Yeah, that one had a season pass too. I just remembered, I think Donkey made a video about it and he was laughing at them for putting it in. Like, why are we putting season passes into video games that are single player? Like, what the hell?
tons of busy work and tedious grinding. Ubisoft's game and open world design is just too safe and by the books, and they have a bad habit of stretching out their titles to be way longer than they should. So this does kind of tie in with their reputation thing, but the earlier Assassin's Creed games took place in cities that were more condensed, which made a lot of the activities and the story, you know, closer together. A lot of it was still copy and pasted, but you didn't have to run so far to get to the next side objective or whatever. With their more recent titles, Ubisoft has been stretching out the runtime and the size of the open world, and it's not really making the games any better. It's the same reason a lot of people prefer Banjo-Kazooie over Tooie. I myself am a hardcore Tooie stan, but I get it. So fans are likely worried that this game will follow the same generic formula. I hope not. Now, with all this in mind, you can see how there's automatically a bias against whatever Ubisoft releases, because people simply do not have faith in them. They have a long history.
Well, yeah, no shit. It's been like a decade of shit games from them. Yeah, I'm not surprised. People can only take so much. I'm hoping that maybe someday people will crack because of Blizzard releasing shitty games all the time. But I feel like everyone has like a chokehold from Blizzard's hands. Like they can't get loose from the hands that Blizzard grips around their neck. I really don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon.
Of anti-consumer practices and absurd monetization. But let's move on to the more controversial angle. Are gamers mad because Yasuke is black?
Black? Did you say black? You called him black?
He is black.
Oh, he said it again.
I mean, yeah, for some
racist!
people, they're happily taking this opportunity to post racism. I mean, why wouldn't they? If you're a racist,
Actman is racist because he's using Donkey Kong music in the background while talking about racism. I fucking knew it. Chat, lock him up right now.
you just got some great content to work with.
We're finally going to Japan. And I still gotta see you niggas.
Whoa, we just saw
Problem with
another
trying to figure
video.
out who's trying to make a genuine point and who's just like taking this opportunity to
Whoa.
be racist. It's like a guessing game, you know? Assassin's Creed Shadows, George Floyd's skin.
Oh my god, man!
Yeah, that's enough talking about that.
Holy
Hopefully,
shit!
this is only a small part of why gamers are mad. So there's two protagonists.
Holy
the first one
fuck,
being
man.
Yasuke, who is a historical figure, a black samurai. Allegedly, the first black samurai in Japan. The first foreign samurai, in fact. And the other
Retainer.
is Nawe, a shinobi assassin. Now, Yasuke has been portrayed in a bunch of other media, but I've never seen any of these other shows or games generate even a fraction of the controversy that Shadows has.
It's because it's the first Japanese Assassin's Creed game that people have been asking for like 20 years or some shit. Ever since the first one. And people are malding over it. Because they want it to be a Japanese-centric game. Yeah.
Why not star a native Japanese man? This is a good question and one certainly worth lifting an eyebrow. To my knowledge, most Assassin's Creed games star a fictional protagonist native to the setting, with any real historical figures being side characters or villains. And if I'm not mistaken, Shadows is the first game where you both play as a historical figure and it's someone not native to the setting. These 2 points have made some gamers suspicious of Ubisoft's intentions. Are they really choosing Yasuke because it's the best decision creatively and narratively? Personally, I think the idea has a lot of potential, but we'll talk about that later. The point is that some people see this as like a diversity checklist or something along those.
I think I saw on Twitter, obviously don't quote me on this, but I think people are digging and trying to find, and they think again, this is not sourced, I don't know if this is true, but they were saying that they might have done a diversity checklist for the new game because they were like, all right, the last 3 games did not have that. Star Wars game didn't. Oh shit. Oh fuck. We gotta do it.
Those lines. However, like I said, Nawe is also native to Japan. So there is a native character that you can play as. But unfortunately, she's a woman. And women aren't real people, right, fellas? Yeah, this is something that a lot of the culture.
To be fair, I think I read somewhere, I'm not certain if it's true or not, I don't think as a woman you are allowed to be a quote-unquote ninja or shinobi. You were more like a social, like an assassin that was in a social setting, like slipping people poison and stuff. You were not meant for like hand-to-hand combat. Akunoichi? Yeah, that word. Yeah. And she's supposed to be a shinobi or whatever.
Culture warriors online are not highlighting that there is a native protagonist. So I personally don't see it as such a huge issue. I think all of the other pricing stuff and everything else that's wrong with Ubisoft is much more important to me as a gamer and not a culture warrior. Now, some folk will say, well, why not just go play Ghost of Tsushima or Sekiro or any other of the hundreds of Japanese samurai games that star?
You should. You should. If you don't like the idea of giving Ubisoft money for a shit game just because it's like set in Japan or whatever, go play something else, man. Even though Ghost, I've heard that it's actually like not that great. But I don't know. I haven't played the game.
Are a Japanese guy. Well, I think Assassin's Creed fans just want that same thing for their own franchise. For some people, I don't think it's really all that complicated. But then again, Ubisoft games are already too safe, so would it be too safe of a direction to just star a random Japanese guy? I don't know. People see Yasuke as evidence that there's an agenda being pushed, and while that—
I've heard nothing but good things about Ghost. Okay, I guess it was just one whiny person I saw on Twitter. Yeah, so I think I saw a post one time and I was like, huh. I thought Ghost was supposed to be a good game and this guy's just whining about it.
That could very well be the case. A lot of the people saying this right now are already saying this about 100 different things. Everything else has to be pushing an agenda when, you know, your content is based around that. For me, whether or not it's woke or pushing an agenda is going to come down to the writing and the storytelling, as it always does. I think there's a really good example in the Battlefield 5 trailer, where it's much more clear that something else was going on. It's actually the perfect counterpoint. Battlefield 5 is set in World War II and you want to have female representation? Lucky for you, there were like 1 million female snipers in the Russian army. But no, have this like weird British lady with a robot claw who keeps dying and coming back, and it's... So I think...
Wait, what the hell? Really? Really now?
1 million female snipers in the Russian army. But no, have...
Yeah. Yeah, I had some relatives that were my great grandparents, like my descendants were. I had some relatives that were in the army that were females that were pilots, and yeah.
Have this like weird British lady with a robot claw who keeps dying and
robot
coming
claw
back,
though. What?
So I think Battlefield 5 is more of a relevant example where you can extrapolate some kind of agenda being pushed. But you also have to remember that when Battlefield 1 was announced and people saw the cover art, they also had the same complaint. Why is there a black guy on the cover? Then the game came out and it was a fucking masterpiece and nobody ever talked about that again. Something
exactly. That's why I think we should hopefully maybe Poopysoft can shit out a good game. But I'm not hopeful. You're allowed to be doubtful, but hopefully it's, I don't know, a good game.
Similar kind of happened with the Fallout show. There was this initial reaction to the trailer where they're like, oh, it's woke. Fallout's been destroyed. Oh, it's terrible. And then the show came out and most people loved it. And most of the complaints people had with the show revolved around the lore and how that was handled. So I think a lot of the people
and the costumes
and all that are just jumping to conclusions because that's kind of what their content revolves around. The next reason gamers are upset: Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't historically accurate. If you said something along these lines and you genuinely believe this statement, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt right now. And
okay, pause, but Assassin's Creed is a fantasy history game. Like, it's historical, but it is fantasy based. Even I know that. Like, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate.
I think you're mistaking historical fiction for historical accuracy. They are not the same thing. Again, going back
it's
to
pretty
Battlefield 1 and 5,
fantastical.
historical accuracy is, okay, we've got this game set in World War II. Are we trying to make it feel like World War II? Are we trying to make it feel like World War I? The historical accuracy conversation is usually reserved for games that are like recreating battles that actually happened. Are the dates of certain invasions in World at War correct? Was there actually a battle on Peleliu? That's
like saying that Fallout is a historically accurate game. Like, yeah, Operation Anchorage, there was like threats of like the red, curtain rising in Operation Anchorage in the DLC. That was accurate, but it's not real. Like, it didn't happen. Yeah, Fallout is historical fiction as well. They base certain dates leading up to the bombs falling and all this and that to make it seem realistic. Because it's fun and it's a cool premise.
Historical accuracy. Historical fiction is the story
so
inserted into that setting. Like I said, when you're watching a trailer for a World War II game and some cyborg lady shows up, your brain is like, that shouldn't be there. And you feel weird. This argument does not apply to Assassin's Creed at all. In fact, that's like the entire point of the Assassin's Creed stories, is that this is the history you haven't been told. Here's the real truth. And I've always...
Can I ask chat, am I hooked? I remember someone's telling me a long time ago that Assassin's Creed involved time travel. Like, wasn't that the whole thing? Like, about it? Kinda? Yeah, I thought it had something to do with it. Like it's something to do with that. So it is like just completely fantastical. Sorta okay, but like you're not saying completely no. It's like 1%. No, I totally understand. I'm just saying it is like involving like it does involve time travel kind of. Reliving past from DNA? Yeah, which is fiction.
I always felt Assassin's Creed was cathartic because you get to indulge in a conspiracy theory and see it presented to you. You get to watch it play out in the past and in the present. So Assassin's Creed not being historically accurate is like the fucking foundation of their story.
Yeah.
It's like the premise of the entire franchise.
You're reliving your ancestors' DNA and your memories. Yeah, that doesn't happen in real life. Yeah, which is cool. Through a machine, yeah.
So if you're complaining about historical accuracy, still at this point, it's hard to believe you have any experience with this franchise. Right, here's another example. JFK getting assassinated. That's a historical event. The way Umbrella Academy handles that historical event is historical fiction. It's taking this thing that happened or existed and creating your own story involved with it. Therefore, Yasuke not being historically accurate as a samurai is completely irrelevant because this is a fictional story in a real setting. It's historical fiction.
I just think that they should have made it a Japanese male samurai in the very first one, and then you can branch off. Maybe the DLC could have been Yasuke. That would have been cool. Yeah, why not? Wait.
Now, if we get a new trailer for Shadows and we see like samurais with jetpacks, you know, you guys are going to have a real argument to make. But wait a minute. Samurais with jetpacks? Has it been done before? Oh my god, it has! Another reason gamers are upset with Shadows. Yasuke wasn't a samurai. This is pretty much just arguing semantics because we just established that Assassin's Creed is built on historical fiction, not historical accuracy. So whether or not he was is completely irrelevant. Personally, because his origins and his early life and even his original name are still unknown to us, from a narrative perspective, this opens a lot of doors creatively because you can come up with your own story about his life. Whether it's done well or not, and it's written in a compelling, interesting way, remains to be seen. And that will be the determining factor on whether or not we look back on this game as something that...
Yeah, this game, if the narrative falls apart and the games are shit and the gameplay shit and the acting shit and the screenwriting shit, people are gonna feel even more validated.
Pushed an agenda and fucking sucked because it compromised its writing for that, or a story that was genuinely interesting because it presented this historical figure and wrote a story around them within the setting of Assassin's Creed. Also, the thing about Yasuke, again, because he's very mysterious, is that he could have also worked as a side character or even a villain. When I saw this shot of him in the trailer with the flames, I was like, yo, he would be a pretty fucking cool villain, just visually, like the one black samurai. But then again, people might criticize Ubisoft and be like,
and say it's racism!
The one black samurai you decide to make a villain. So you're gonna have people talking shit no matter what. At the end of the day, what matters most is if the game is good, right?
Racist.
And if it's monetized properly. You know what would be really funny though is to make an Assassin's Creed game where it's set in a certain place and nobody is native. Like if they were all Mexican sombrero wearing samurais, that would be awesome. I want to see a game where everyone is just an unapologetic stereotype. So when it comes down to it, there are some valid questions to ask about
maybe some French samurai with like baguettes as well for swords.
Ubisoft's intentions.
Sharpened baguette swords.
Whether Yasuke was a samurai, whether they're putting in a black samurai to get, you know, better DEI points or whatever. I think that conversation is not as important as how they're monetizing it and what else Ubisoft is doing and all the anti-consumer stuff. Remember, guys, no pre-orders, okay? But what do you think? Do you agree or disagree with what I had to say? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the Act Man for more awesome content. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace.
Peace.
Just replace all the characters with the Spanish Inquisition.
Yep. Tech Claptures! The Fart Man! No pre-order? That's right, don't pre-order.